Hi, this is Casey for my third video post response for my social work 290 class for the TED Talk on the mental health system, A Call for Change by Nora Blum. This is actually a TED Talk that I loved because it's a topic that's really important to me and that I'm very passionate about. I'm actually a mental health ambassador here at NC State, so a lot of what she talked about I see and kind of try to work through on a daily basis. It's sad how true many of the things that she said are, especially in a country like the United States where we have great healthcare options and people are able to receive treatment for so many things, and yet there are so many people who are unable to receive treatment for mental health disorders and even many neurological disorders because, like she said, first of all, there's such a stigma that so many people won't even seek treatment. Once they do seek treatment, there's a very large chance that insurance won't cover it or will only cover part of it. I've even been to places where the copay was as high as $75 per visit with a therapist, which many people just can't afford. Um, and then there's also the fact that many treatments that we do have and do offer are so old and out of date that a lot of times the side effects associated, for example, with certain medications for bipolar disorder or depression or anxiety or things like schizophrenia, they are often worse in terms of how the person suffering and going through the treatment feels than a lot of the side effects or symptoms of the disorder themselves. So people taking bipolar medication might not experience the highs and lows, but they stay very low all the time. So they are more relatively stable, but that stability comes at the cost of not feeling like themselves, or many people describe themselves as feeling like zombies, which is something that I think is unacceptable with the technology and the medical innovation that we have these days, that people are still taking medication that was prescribed for those disorders 150 years ago. I loved what she said about how her service and her new kind of approach, or I guess it was new in 2017, to treatment is really giving people a space to feel like they're not alone, they're not the only ones going through what they're experiencing, and it's okay to feel what they feel like. One thing that we really see, especially dealing with mental health with students, is that they don't think that what they're experiencing is normal. So they either try to cover it up with themselves or especially with their friends, when really, if you get 10 college students in a room, most likely at least half of them are going to admit that they feel depressed a lot or have severe anxiety about tests or things outside of class. And just naming that and giving them a space to talk about it and see that they're not the only ones experiencing those emotions can have such a great effect. But unfortunately, it's not something that we do a lot in our society. Um, Mental health is one of the few areas where we really just will not admit when something is going on. Like she talked about, people have no problem admitting or kind of calling out physical pain, but they don't want to call out or admit that they're struggling with internal pain and emotional and mental pain as well. And actually, one of the number one reasons that people who have attempted to commit suicide but were unsuccessful have cited as being a main cause behind their decision is feeling alone and feeling like they were the only ones going through whatever they were going through at that time. So that's really something that I think is powerful that she touched on. And I completely agree with her that we really need to make a change in the healthcare system, because that's part of why the stigma exists. Because when things aren't recognized by insurance and doctors aren't talking about it, society isn't talking about it, the healthcare system isn't really recognizing mental health as just as important as physical health, then people won't consider it just as important and kind of continue to hold that stigma. So I love this TED Talk. I love what she brought up, and I know it was over a year ago, and it's sad to see that we haven't made much progress, honestly. So I think we need to continue to talk about these things and have these discussions and really start putting mental health first, and like she said, making it a policy priority. Thank you for listening to my thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video too.